Corinthian Aleph, or 1 Corinthians, chapter 9. Am I not an emissary? Am I not free? Have I not seen Yeshua Messiah our Master? Are you not my work in the Master? If to others I'm not an emissary, I certainly am to you, for you are the seal of my office of the emissary in the Master. My defense to those who examine me is this: do we not have a right to eat and drink? Do we not have a right to take along a sister, a wife, as do also the other emissaries and the brothers of the Master, and Kepha? Or do only Barnabas and I have no right to refrain from working? Who serves as a soldier at his own expense? Who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its fruit? Or who shepherds a flock and does not feed on the milk of the flock? Do I say this as a man? Or does not the Torah say the same too? For it's been written in the Torah of Moshe, you shall not muzzle an ox while it treads out the grain. Is it about oxen that Elohim is concerned? Or does he say it because of us all? For this was written because of us, that he who plows should plow in expectation, and the thresher in expectation of sharing. If we've sown spiritual seed among you, is it too much if we reap material goods from you? If others share authority over you, should not rather we? But we've not used this authority, but we put up with all, lest we hinder the good news of Messiah. Do you not know that those serving in the set-apart place eat from the set-apart place, and those attending at the slaughter place have their share of the offerings of the slaughter place? So also the Master instituted that those announcing the good news should live from the good news. But I have used none of these, nor have I written that it should be done so to me. For it would be better for me to die than anyone should make my boasting empty. For if I bring the good news, it is no boasting for me, for necessity is laid on me, and it's woe to me if I do not bring the good news. For if I do this voluntarily, I have a reward. But if not voluntarily, I'm entrusted with the management. What then is my reward? That in bringing the good news, I should offer the good news of Messiah without cost, so as not to abuse my authority in the good news. For though I am free from all, I made myself a servant to all in order to win more. And to the Yehudim I became as a Yehudi, that I might win Yehudim. To those who are under the Torah, as under the Torah, so to win those who are under the Torah. To those without the Torah, as without Torah, not being without Torah towards Elohim, but under Torah of Messiah, so as to win those who are without Torah. To the weak I became as weak, so as to win the weak. To all men I have become all, so as to save some by all means. And I do this because of the good news, so as to become a fellow partaker with it. Do you not know that all those who run in a race, indeed, all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way as to obtain it. And everyone who competes controls himself in every way. Now, they do it to receive a corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible crown. Therefore I run accordingly, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. But I treat my body severely, and I make it my slave, lest having proclaimed to others, I myself might be rejected. Chapter 10. For I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers, that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and all were immersed into Moshe in the cloud and in the sea, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed, and the rock was Messiah. However, with most of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were laid low in the wilderness, and these became examples for us, so that we should not lust after evil, as those indeed lusted. And do not become idolaters, as some of them, as it's been written, the people sat down to eat and to drink, and stood up to play. Neither should we commit whoring, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 fell. Neither let us try Messiah, as some of them also tried, and were destroyed by serpents. Neither grumble, as some of them also grumbled, and were destroyed by the destroyer. And all these came upon them as examples, and they were written down as warning to us, on whom the ends of the ages have come, so that he who thinks he stands, let him take heed lest he fall. No trials overtaken you, except such as is common to man, and Elohim is trustworthy, who shall not allow you to be tried beyond what you're able, but with trial shall also make the way of escape, enabling you to bear it. Therefore, my beloved ones, flee from idolatry. I speak as to wise men. Judge for yourselves what I say. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not a sharing in the blood of Messiah? The bread that we break, is it not a sharing in the body of Messiah? Because there's one bread. We who are many are one body, for we all partake of the one bread. Look at Israel after the flesh. Are not those who eat of the slaughterings sharers in the slaughter place? What then do I say? That an idol is of any value, or that which is slaughtered to idols is of any value? No. But what the nations slaughter, they slaughter to demons, and not to Elohim. And I do not wish you to become sharers with demons. You're not able to drink the cup of the master and the cup of demons. You're not able to partake of the table of the master and of the table of demons. Do we provoke the master to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? All is permitted me, but not all do profit. All is permitted me, but not all build up. Let no one seek his own, but each one that of the other. You eat whatever's sold in the meat market, asking no questions because of conscience, for the earth belongs to Yehovah and all that fills it. And if any of the unbelievers invite you and you wish to go, you eat whatever's set before you, asking no question on account of the conscience. And if anyone says to you, this was slaughtered to idols, do not eat it, because of the one pointing it out to you, and on account of the conscience, for the earth belongs to Yehovah and all that fills it. Now I say conscience, not your own, but that of the other. For why is my freedom judged by another's conscience? But if I partake with thanks, why am I evil spoken of for what I give thanks? Therefore, whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do all to the esteem of Elohim. Cause no stumbling, either to the Yehudim or to the Greeks, or to the assembly of Elohim. As I also please all men in all matters, not seeking my own advantage, but that of the many, that they might be saved. chapter 11. Become imitators of me, as I also am of Messiah. And I praise you, brothers, that you remember me in every way and keep the traditions as I delivered them to you. And I wish you to know that the head of every man is the Messiah, and the head of woman is the man, and the head of Messiah is Elohim. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covers brings shame to his head. And every woman praying or prophesying with her head uncovered brings shame to her head, for that is one and the same as if her head were shaved. For if a woman is not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it is a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaved, let her be covered. For a man indeed should not cover his head, since he is the likeness and esteem of Elohim, but woman is the esteem of man. For man is not from woman, but woman from man. For man also was not created for the woman, but woman for the man. Because of this, the woman ought to have authority on her head because of the messengers. However, man's not independent of woman, nor woman independent of man in the master. For as the woman was from the man, even so the man also is through the woman. But all are from Elohim. Judge for yourselves. Is it proper for a woman to pray to Elohim with her head uncovered? Does not nature itself teach you that if a man indeed has long hair, it's a disrespect to him? And if a woman has long hair, it's an esteem to her, because the long hair has been given to her over against a veil. If, however, anyone seems to be contentious, we do not have such a habit, nor do the assemblies of Elohim. And in declaring this, I do not praise you, since you come together not for the better, but for the worse. For in the first place, I hear that when you do come together as an assembly, there are divisions among you. And to some extent, I believe it. For there have to be factions even among you, so that the approved ones might be revealed among you. So, when you come together in one place, it is not to eat the Master's supper. For when you eat, each one takes his own supper first, and one is hungry and another drunk. Have you not houses to eat and drink in? Or do you despise the assembly of Elohim and shame those who have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I do not praise. For I received from the Master that which I also delivered to you, that the Master Yeshua, in the night in which he was delivered, took up bread, and having given thanks, he broke it and said, "Take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way also the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the renewed covenant in my blood. As often as you drink it, do this in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the death of the Master until he comes. So that whoever should eat this bread or drink this cup of the Master unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Master. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For the one who is eating and drinking unworthily eats and drinks judgment to himself, not discerning the body of the Master. Because of this, many are weak and sick among you, and many sleep. For if we were to examine ourselves, we would not be judged. But when we are judged, we're disciplined by the Master, that we should not be condemned with the world. So then, my brothers, when you come together to eat, Wait for one another. And if anyone is hungry, let him eat at home, lest you come together for judgment. And the rest I shall set in order when I come.